Hey folks, what's up? This is Adam here, I Can't See the Guy. You'll notice the video quality is a lot better today. Got a new webcam, a better one, and I'll improve the settings as well, so to make the videos look more clear for the future. I'm up early this morning. Last night I watched Friday the 13th Part 3. I think I watched it like round about 9:30 last night. And of course when it was over I went to sleep, but for some reason I woke up extra early this morning. It's my day off today, I go back to work tomorrow. And I've been full of energy since I woke up, and I thought to myself, I've watched Part 3, so I might as well do a review on it now. I'm going to enjoy doing a review on Friday the 13th Part 3, everyone, because Richard Brooker played Jason in this movie, and I've met Richard Brooker. He's no longer with us now, he's passed away, may he rest in peace. And as you can see from the photos right here, this is me meeting him. This was some years ago, and as you can see, I was happy and very thin back then. And also, you can tell in the photograph, he actually makes me look like a fucking midget when I'm standing next to him shaking his hand. This was at like a memorabilia signing some years ago. I think it was about 5 or 6 years before he passed away. And he's the only cast member from the Friday the 13th that I've met. I would like to meet CJ Graham, Kane Hodder, and all the other Jasons in the far future. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Right off the bat, Richard Brooker was a great guy. He was very friendly. Like I said, he agreed to have a photograph took with me. Was shaking hands in the photo, and he signed me an autograph. Couldn't ask more than that. Like I said, Richard Brooker played Jason Voorhees in this movie. It's the only time he played Jason, and I think he played a great Jason in this movie. Like I said, I've got the set right here. If you haven't seen my previous videos. The 8-movie collection Blu-ray of Friday the 13th. Again, he played Jason, I thought, really creepy in this movie. The way he moved, the way he stalked down his victims. And he's a memorable Jason. And why I'm saying he's a memorable Jason is because I thought this was like a very fun sequel. I mean, my favourite Jason, Friday the 13th movies are the series later on. Where we get to somewhere like around Jason Lives and Jason Takes Manhattan and those other sequels. The earlier sequels like 1, 2 and 3, they're good movies. I mean, they're straight to the point, they're straightforward, the plots aren't complicated, the whole concept about it taking place in Camp Crystal Lake, new counsellors, new campers getting killed by the killer. It's a straightforward plot and it works. That's what I like so much about the 80s movies. I mean, this movie came out in the year of 1982, I believe. I can tell you the official release date. 1982, August 13th. It's a 95-minute movie, and it was given a budget of $2.2 million. And it made $36.7 million at the box office. That's pretty impressive. I mean, this film was, like I say, made right after the second one, after the success of the first and the second movie. Again, I didn't think I was expecting for the first and second movie to get the success and the love and praise that it got. I think I was least expecting that, but like I said, it did. So therefore, they made this third one in 1982. Okay. Now, in terms of the cast in this movie, they did a fine job. I mean, the girl in this movie, look at it right now, Chris Higgins, who's played by Dana Kimmel, she did a fine job as the lead girl. I must say, I mean, don't get me wrong, great actress, and she did a fine. But I thought the other actresses like Alice and all that, I thought they were more. There was something about them. I prefer them more, but I'm not putting down Dana Kimmel in any type of way. But she did a great job. But I just thought the other previous actresses were more. I don't know if better is the right way, but more memorable. If you get what I mean. But with that being said, I thought she did a great role in this movie. There's some scenes where she, really takes it to Jason. There's a scene where Jason gets an axe to the head, hence why there's that missing, that space where the axe went into his head in his hockey mask, because the hockey mask gets introduced in this movie. That's why there's that space, that cut in Jason's head there, because that's where the axe was chopped into his own head, There's a scene where she successfully hangs Jason in the barn, he's hanging from his neck. You know, so she takes it to Jason. She even takes a shovel to his head and hits him with that. So, in terms of her working with Richard Brooker, I thought they worked really well, you know, in this movie. You know, I mean, the movie, it takes place like at this farmhouse, and there's a barn, I guess by Camp Crystal Lake. I mean, we get introduced by some new characters. I will state some other actors that are in this movie. One character I did like was Shelley Finkelstein in this movie, played by Larry Zerner. Yeah, good role. I like that character. We get other people in this movie, brand new people like Paul Kachaya, played by Rick Bombay. We've got Tracy Savage, who played Debbie. Jeffrey Rogers as Andy. We've got Catherine Parks in this movie as playing Vera. I've already mentioned Richard Brooker as Jason. And there's like a biker gang in this movie. All these bikers. We get introduced to characters like Ali, Fox, Loco, and some other people in this movie. I mean, one of them gets a fucking arm chopped off in this movie. That's another thing I want to say about this movie. Just like all the previous Friday the 13th movies, there's at least one favourite kill. There's one kill that always fucking stands out. I mean, in the first movie, it was Kevin Bacon getting the fucking arrow through the throat while he's on the bed. That's my favourite kill in that movie. The second one, my second favourite kill is in part 2, where the guy's in the wheelchair and he gets the machete to the head and he goes backwards in the wheelchair, showing that Jason doesn't give a shit if you're in a wheelchair. You know, he doesn't care if you're strong, weak, or even disabled for that matter. He'll fucking kill you no matter in what kind of state you're in. And he does that, and he shows that by killing a guy in a fucking wheelchair. So that was my favourite kill in part 2, where the guy gets the machete to the head and he goes back in the wheelchair. Now in this one, it'd have to be the scene where the guy was walking on his hands. A stupid thing to do in a horror movie, but he was walking on his hands and Jason just like sliced him. I think it was like with a machete or an axe. I can't fucking remember the weapon, but he chopped him in the balls basically. And it was one of those scenes where it made you, you know, clench your legs together, thinking, "Damn, that must have fucking hurt." But I'd have to say that was my standout killing in that movie. But with that being said, I thought the kills were creative and very memorable in this movie. I mean, we get a scene where a guy's eye pops out because Jason squeezes his head. We get a hot poker scene being stabbed into one of the victims. We get a scene right off the start of the movie where a knitting needle gets stabbed into the back of a person's head. Pitchfork stabbings. And to tell you the truth, they were very creative kills and they're very fun. That's one thing I like to say about part 3. I really enjoyed it. It's also available in 3D also. Like I say, gory. Just like in 1 and 2, gory scenes. But this one was like a fun, creative, gory flick. Again, like I keep bringing up about that scene where the guy was walking on his hands and Richard Brooker just went, you know, right between his fucking legs. And I'm thinking, fuck me, that must have killed. You know, we get battling scenes, like I say, with the leading girl and Jason Voorhees. There's the barn scene where Jason gets hanged and all that kind of shit. There's a spear gun scene, you know. It's like that scene with the bag, you know. The hockey mask was inside it, of course, a spear gun and all that. But it was like this small bag with like over 100 items inside this little bag. And you're thinking, how the fuck did he carry all this shit? But the Jason, like I said, it's the first time Jason puts on the hockey mask in this movie. And I think the hockey mask look is a cool kick-ass look for Jason. It makes him like a cool kick-ass killer. I mean, like I says, in the first movie, it was Pamela Voorhees. Jason got introduced into the sequel where he had the bag over the head, and I thought that was a very creepy, intimidating look. Where I think the hockey mask is like more of like a cool look, basically. But it's a great look for a killer. I've been looking online at some of the interviews and what some people said about when the hockey mask was first introduced. They thought, you know, why the fuck would you put a hockey mask onto a killer who's going to look retarded, he's going to look stupid. Yet when they put the hockey mask on him, they were surprised of how cool and intimidating it looked. So it just goes to show how little things like that can really make a killer stand out. you know. But there's lots of stabbing, there's lots of gore. I'd say all the killings are taking place in the barn and the farmhouse. You know, I like the scene where Jason gets hanged, you know, and he removes the mask so you see his deformed face, you know, when he's like trying to get the rope off and all that kind of shit. So, you know, there's some hide and seek moments in the barn and some other scenes like that. I mean, I like the fact they introduced all these new characters where they're like bikers and shit like that. So, overall, this movie, it was just like the first two movies, a success. It was a fun flick. And after watching this movie last night, I'd have to say it is, I don't know if better than the first and the second movie. Because in my opinion, these movies get better as they go along. Um, but I'd say the third one is like the point where it all started. You know, where it got more interesting, it got more creative, more gory, and it really stood out to the audience. Basically, I mean, it really stood out. I mean, especially after seeing it on Blu-ray as well, because like I say, this is the Blu-ray set. Um, it does have special features on here. We get some fresh cuts in 3D. It talks about the hockey mask in this, the legacy of the hockey mask since it was first introduced. Um, it's not like nothing special in the special features. It mainly talks about the hockey mask and some of the 3D special features. I mean, the final chapter that got more fucking features. Um, it seemed to got more features in these movies as they went along. I mean, again, there's more features to talk about in the New Beginning and Jason Lives and the New Blood, and even my favourite one, Manhattan, the one that everyone dislikes. So, as for the first three, well, come to think of it, the third one has the less special features than all of them put together. You know, I would have liked to have seen some interviews, and I'd like to have seen, you know, a lot more special features where it talks about the making of this movie. I would have been more interested to see that in the features. Like I say, usually I just like watch the first movie and then I watch the special features afterwards. I mean, when I watched the special features, I was actually surprised with all the lacking of this. I mean, I was like, I would have been more interested to see the making side of things and possibly an interview with Richard Brooker and shit like that. So that's a little bit of a shame. They could have added more in the special features on this. But um, speaking of disappointments, I think this is the first movie where I wasn't disappointed in some of the things that were in it. I mean, I had a problem with in part one, you know, with this few scenes, like the killing of that snake that I keep bringing up, thinking, did they really use a real snake to kill in that scene in part one? And was that really necessary? With all the great effects I did in the part one, they could have like come up with a fake snake. You know, I found it scratched my head a bit, thinking, did Betsy Palmer, an old lady, do all them killings? Did she really lift a guy up on the door and stab those arrows through him and all that shit? My other problem with the second movie was the intro, like thinking, did I really need to kill Alice off? How did Jason know where she lived and all that kind of stuff? But in part three, I had, you know, no moments in that movie where I thought to myself, was that scene really needed? I wish I could have talked about that a little bit more. How did that come about? But number three didn't seem to have any of those. I just wish I had more special features, that's all. But overall, I really liked part three. I thought it was a great sequel. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. Again, I like Richard Brooker playing Jason. Um, Speaking of Richard Brooker, straight after this video, I'm going to talk about the time I met him. It's only going to be a brief video. You know, he passed away some time ago of a suspected heart attack. May he rest in peace. And I will talk about the time I met him, you know, back then. But overall, I was impressed with every actor's part. Like I say, I'm not big on the lead girl in this movie. Nothing wrong with her. Great actress. But I just prefer the other leading girls in the other movies more. But I'm not bashing her in any type of capacity. So overall, fantastic movie, everybody. Really enjoyed it. Part four will be coming next, and I'm really looking forward to part four. Like I said, I've not seen these movies in ages. If I remember correctly, in part four, the final chapter, I think my favourite kill in that movie was actually Jason's kill. Is that the one where the machete goes through his fucking skull? I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, that's the one. Like I said, I'll watch it and do a review on it when I get a chance. But thanks for checking out this review, everybody. Please like, rate, and comment. Email me if you've got any questions. We'll continue on with this franchise. Please check out my next video of where I'm meeting Richard Brooker. Thanks, everyone. Peace out.